So this episode was sponsored by my friend David. This is a Patreon request. I'm going to be talking about Rugrats, specifically the episode Touchdown Tommy. And before I go into that, I did want to talk a little bit about Rugrats. It is a show I watched as a kid. I did watch it a lot. I still really liked it when they added Dill and Kimmy. I found it very good. There was obviously a lot of stuff that went over my head. When I revisited as an adult, I did find I was picking up on a lot more stuff going on. I was picking up on very smart writing. There was definitely a lot of jokes that went over my head. And I didn't realize, even as a kid, just how big a phenomenon Rugrats was. It had several movies. It has a star on the Walk of Fame. It had a lot of sales and merchandise. It was very much a big deal, and that's something that was still very lost on me. I guess the best way to compare it, it definitely had a Simpsons-style influence for such a long time. And I don't know if they had some of the same writers, but the animation studio, the Klasky Supo, they did early Simpsons animation, so I'm sure there was some overlap there. But I don't know for sure, and I don't feel like Googling it right now to verify that. I'm going to talk about this episode. But yeah, Rugrats was a big deal. It was very smart. And I'm going to be revisiting it. Fair warning, I have gotten copyright strikes in the past over stuff like this, over Rugrats. Okay, not over Rugrats specifically, but over bigger shows. Stuff like Codename Kids Next Door and Billy and Mandy. And Craig of the Creek. I've gotten hit with copyright strikes, so I'm trying to avoid that. I might have to do some editing and chopping up the video segments for this video. I don't know. With AmazzonKane, I think because that's a more obscure show, I don't get strikes. I get the copyright notification and it gets demonetized, but I don't make money on this channel anyway as of right now, so I never really fight them on it. But I do get videos removed and strikes on my account for bigger shows, more well-known shows. Anyways, I'm going to stop depressing you and actually deliver what I promised. Here is Rugrats Touchdown Tommy. I definitely remember that they did a lot of extreme close-ups. I remember they started every episode with that, and it was something that definitely went over my head. It was something interesting. I never paid too much attention to it. Also, yep.
No, Stu, look at that gigantic bruise.
He probably just bumped his head trying to get that balloon.
Stu, are you blaming Tommy's concussion on the balloon?
Concussion?
Yep.
It's not the balloon's fault, Stu. Oh, how can Betty and I trust you dads with the babies during the game this afternoon? You won't watch them at all.
Of course we will.
Don't be silly. After kickoff, all you
okay,
must be thinking about is guzzling soda and gobbling.
Admittedly, as stereotypes go, between men and women, this is something I have seen in real life.
This place is an accident.
Mom who worries too much, and dad who's very lax. Actually, one thing I definitely remember growing up.
Maybe you're right.
Okay, at least Stu and Dee Dee like each other.
I'm gonna invent something that'll keep Tommy from hurting.
At the very least, they're not the couple who's always fighting. But I do remember as a kid, I did get very, very annoyed at the grandpa for always being asleep and never watching the kids.
And all I had on was my birthday suit. What are you gonna do? Put Tommy in a bubble?
Oh, if I don't think of something, we dads are gonna have to take turns looking after the kids. That means watching the game in shifts.
Shifts? Well, get busy then.
Gotta watch that game.
That's it. Look, protective headgear.
Oh God. Oh god, Angelica's creepy cat.
Drew, listen, I think I've solved this babysitting thing. Get a hold of the other dads and tell them the game is still on. And Drew? Yes, Stu? This is top secret.
I will say while I'm not the biggest fan of the classic Supo art style,
Got something to
I find that for Rugrats, it does make a lot of sense because...
You and Betty may go to the mall without fear.
We can?
That's right, because Tommy is...
Oh my god, Stu here. I'm just noticing the design, but I feel like it makes more sense in Rugrats because babies have a...
Stu,
Presenting the Bonkomatic Baby Bumper.
the Bonka Who's It Baby what?
Okay, I'm getting lost in the dialogue, but they have a...
Complete cranial system.
Babies can have a very distorted view of the world, and
Average American
babies can be kind of gross.
absolute freedom of movement.
I feel like, well, it matches
Shopping for mom.
the weird look,
Stu,
matches what it is.
It's guaranteed.
well, all right.
Aw.
Betty and I will be back in a few hours. Bye-bye.
Yeah, just the weird perspectives and the weird designs. I feel like that would match
For anyway.
a baby's weird worldview.
I think it's to keep my face from getting out. Who goes there? What's the password? Bingo.
Hey, Charles, great. You brought the big screen remote.
Oh,
Surround-a-thon stereo.
a big-ass TV.
Maybe this football game isn't such a good idea. Would you rather watch the chess playoffs on the Culture Channel?
Gee, I don't know. What do you think, guys?
Stupid.
Sorry, Chaz, you had that one coming.
Stupid thing you got on your head.
Guys, now that you're here, I can show everyone. Here it is, the answer to all our parenting problems. The Bonkomatic Baby Bumper.
It's a helmet.
Guys, we're talking complete cranial protection here. Baby gets to play, dad gets to go about his business, and voila! No more worried moms. Best of all, each kid gets one.
I do appreciate Angelica having to wear a diaper. Cause she's a shithead.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to our coverage of football's big event, the
That's
Ultra
fun.
Bowl. I'm Chick Hearn, coming to you live from the Lone Star State with my good friend Hank Duff. Hi, folks. Hank, how's it feel to be back in your own home turf?
Feels great, Jake.
Oh, the weird designs. I really want to talk about As Told by Ginger in the classic Supo style period. But that's a video for another day.
You in there? I think so.
Chucky in a bucket.
Dad made me wear this dumb baby helmet. They're not dumb, Angelica. They're really neat. Yeah. And look at this. Wow. Come on, Chucky, let's try it.
I feel like Chucky would have the easiest time standing.
I learned this in ballet class.
It's first and 10. Carnelli gets a snap. Hands off to Jenkins, who goes up the middle for Houston, and he's stopped at the line of
Let's face it, Stu.
That Dallas line is impenetrable.
Impenetrable. Bunch of wimps is more like it. In my day, we played real football.
Come on, Pop. Real football.
Yep. Back at Minnesota State, they called me the Galloping
Geezer? Geezer?
Very funny. I was the Galloping. Hey, we out of pork rinds already?
There's more out in the kitchen, Pop.
You know,
Give the kids a bottle.
they're roasting each other, but these guys seem like they're a ton of fun. They're just being bros. Good for them.
Okay, Sprouts, milk break. Here you go, Phil. And here's one for Lil. And this one's for old Chucky. And here's one for my little princess.
Bottles are for babies, Grandpa. I'm not a baby.
I plumb forgot. Fixed up something special for you, Scout.
Favoritism at its finest.
Little Baba, baby boo. Wow, it's chocolate milk.
You know, the guys get their beer break and the kids get their bottle break. You know, everybody wins.
Give me that bottle. No, it's mine. I said give it. Give me that chocolate milk.
Haha.
Sebastiani on the draw.
Okay, that's fun.
Squirts through to pick up 7 yards before he's finally dragged down from behind.
Baby football. It's like that Gravity Falls joke, baby fights.
2nd and 3 at their own 18-yard line.
Which, entertaining.
Turn it up, Stu. My ears on the fritz.
Here's the snap. Dawkins dropping back to throw, but the pocket collapses around him.
Oh, that's really fun.
Big when the Gursky breaks through.
Looks like a sack for sure, chick.
But wait, Kincaid's wide open at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, that's clever.
The ball off just as Bubba smashes into the ground.
Wow, what a shovel pass.
Wow, it makes a bunch of kids fighting over a bottle of chocolate milk seem so epic.
There and he grabs Kincaid around the knees. Oh, a fumble, loose ball.
Boy, what's going on down there, chick? This guy's got moves like nobody in the league.
But wait,
I feel like
dives on it.
Angelica could have asked for her own cup of chocolate milk, but where would the story be?
He doesn't want to give up that ball.
And everyone knows food tastes better when it comes from someone else.
At the 11-yard line. What? The Statue of Liberty play? How long's it been, Hank, since we've seen that?
Since Minnesota State, young fella.
Hey, no! Over here!
Look at this, Hank. They're playing backyard football with this explosive Houston team. Not a pretty thing to do here in the House of Pain.
Wasn't there a flash game out of a scenario like this? I'm pretty sure there was.
The line coming at him.
Oh man.
That hurts, chick. Dawkins has
Oh, the mess they're making. You can already see it in the background.
Dawkins under severe pressure. He hesitates. He pump fakes the ball and he looks to Kincaid.
Chucky.
He throws the bomb.
Good thing they're wearing those helmets too.
It's intercepted, Hank.
The Gursky made an all-pro move on this one, chick.
Also, that guy on the right, the announcer, he definitely was a retired player, I swear. Highlight reel.
What a mess, Hank. We'll be back with more Ultra Bowl coverage after these important...
Haha, it's empty. Ah, the screaming's so realistic.
Pickles! What in the world is going on here? What are the kids covered with? And what are those horrible stains all over my living room?
Honestly, I get Dee Dee's anger here.
Chocolate milk? Who was watching her when this happened?
I told you we should have watched the chess tournament.
No way, Chaz. Haha. As a burgeoning sadist, I always like watching Angelica get in trouble. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, Rugrats is a very smart show. It's definitely, yeah, it's very clever. It's very creative. It's very realistic, yeah. Screaming kids, favoritism, wanting something that the other kid has, all very real. I really liked how they juxtaposed the action of what the kids were doing with what the adults were doing. They did that very well. It was very seamless, and it felt very epic. It could have so easily been tame and safe and very saccharine, and I think that's what people's impressions of it are when they only have a basic remembrance of it, or when they realize the main characters are babies. But no, you get a really cool child's viewpoint, but without it being dumbed down. It's a very smart, very fun, very creative show. I really liked. You do see more going on with the adults, and you do get very smart dialogue. You get some funny jokes, and honestly, you definitely see I so hate the trope of the nagging wife, because a lot of times in real life it's someone who just doesn't get listened to reaching her breaking point, and yeah, that's realistic. But you don't hate the moms. I really like that the guys actually want to do right by their wives, and maybe they worry more, but at the same time you get it. It's, you want your kids to be safe, and you don't want them to kids are very unpredictable, and Yeah, but at the same time, you don't resent the guys for just wanting to do their thing either. It's the guy, Stu is actually just wanting to do right by Dee Dee, and you definitely get he's solving the problem, and he is saying, hey, look, I get where you're coming from. Here's what I can do to help. You definitely get the mom's anger and frustration at the end, and I guarantee I'd be the same way. I'm someone who likes to be neat. I'm someone who likes to be clean. Oh God, I would absolutely hate seeing a mess like that everywhere. But yeah, I'm glad that they don't fall into some of those really reductive tropes. I'm glad. I personally feel like even though I feel like the moms are very justified, I feel like, yeah, you get where everybody's coming from. For the parents, you don't see any of them as the bad guy. That's great. And I know people have their opinions on the parents as a whole in the show. I would have to watch more episodes before I come to my own conclusions, but I definitely feel like, yeah, Stu and Dee Dee seem like a really nice couple. I feel like, yeah, Chucky's dad's a little cautious, but he's not a bad person by any means. I feel like, for the most part, they seem like healthy enough relationships. And then Angelica's parents, though, I can't remember too much about her mom. I remember her being a businesswoman. I remember that, and her dad's the one who spoils her generally. I don't remember mom spoiling her all that much, but yeah. Rugrats is very smart. It definitely takes advantage of the situations, the slice of life scenarios. You see how big the world is from a kid's perspective, and you see these really cool juxtapositions. It's definitely a good show. And it's definitely not a pretty looking show, but I also feel like the weird art style does fit what this show is. You know, babies are weird, and they come to their own conclusions, and they're putting their own spin on things. So the fact that things do look weird and distorted does make sense. And again, considering the nature of what babies are, they can be very gross and they can be very weird, and I feel like in this scenario it does make sense for what it is. Versus, I think of the Glasky Supo shows for the art styles, at least the ones I remember, like this, Rugrats, Rocket Power, As Told by Ginger. The art style for me makes the most sense here. As Told by Ginger was a decent enough show, but I wasn't a fan of the art style, and it wasn't a personal favorite, but I remember liking it fine. I remember thinking it had some good messages and good writing and good characters in there. But yeah, the art style was a bit of a turnoff in that one. Rocket Power, I do remember, but that one, I remember it, but it definitely feels a little product of the 90s. Whereas Rugrats, there seems to be more of the three Klasky Supo shows. Rugrats is my favorite. It has more. It does have a lot going on with the slice of life. It takes advantage of that. It creates great characters, very realistic characters, a unique point of view on very familiar situations, and it's popular for a reason. It's a good show.